Hey, you made it. Maybe you've been scrolling endlessly, looking for something, an idea, inspiration, or maybe just a reason to pause. Well, consider this your sign to stop. Take a deep breath and maybe stay a while. It's a new year, and everyone seems to be sprinting towards their resolutions. I want my space to feel like a gentle reminder that you don't have to rush into anything. This isn't about having lofty goals or unrealistic expectations. It's about slowing down, reflecting, and maybe even picking up a brush or pencil to create something for you. Wherever you are, I hope this video gives you the feeling of being right where you need to be. So let's dive in. For me, the start of a new year always feels like a fresh page, literally. This will be my first painting in my new sketchbook, and I really want to take my time with it, to decorate it thoughtfully and to set the tone for the year ahead. There's something so special about the blank pages of a new sketchbook. It's full of potential, but also a little intimidating. That first page feels like it carries all of this weight, doesn't it? Like it needs to be perfect. But I've learned the hard way that it doesn't have to be. It just needs to be mine. Goldfish have this carefree, whimsical vibe that I really love. They just swim around doing their own thing without a care in the world. That kind of energy feels like a reminder to not take things too seriously, especially when it comes to creating. For my first painting of the year, I really didn't want to overthink or pressure myself into making something perfect. I just wanted to enjoy the process, be present, and let the art flow naturally. I feel like a goldfish is the perfect symbol for that playful, go with the flow mindset that I really want to embrace this year. I also chose a goldfish because of the color palette, bright orange and cool blue. It's one of my favorite combinations. The orange feels warm and full of energy. It reminds me of creativity and joy. On the other hand, blue is calming and grounding. Together, they create balance. It feels like the perfect way to start this sketchbook and this year. We often feel like we need to do everything perfectly, but we don't. We just need to show up and take that first step. Painting this first page made me realize that the most important part of creating or starting anything new is to simply begin. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be a reflection of you as you are right now. You also don't have to start big. You don't need a perfect plan. Every new project, every new journey begins with one small step. And that's how we grow, little by little, step by step. When I open my sketchbook, it always starts with a blank page, full of possibility. No rush, no pressure, just one simple line to start. And before I know it, something new begins to take shape. You don't have to have everything figured out before you begin either. Just show up and take one step. That's where the magic begins. If you're thinking about goals this year, I encourage you to focus on the little steps. Don't pressure yourself to achieve everything all at once. Every journey is unique, and it's okay to move at your own pace. Sometimes the hardest thing is to allow yourself to take things slow. But slow progress is still progress. Maybe your goal today isn't to accomplish everything, but just to show up, to take one small action for yourself. Every time I sit down to create, I remind myself, there's no need to rush, there's no need to perfect everything. Just be present with what's happening right now. Every small movement is still part of the process. It's so easy to get caught up in the idea that everything needs to be perfect. But the truth is, life and creativity aren't about being perfect. They're about the process. I've learned to embrace the imperfections, the messy lines, the little mistakes. Those are the moments that make this whole experience real. When I make mistakes in my drawings, I don't see them as failures anymore. I see them as part of the journey and that there's beauty in creating anything. So if you're feeling like you're not perfect right now, know it's okay. The magic isn't in the finished product, but it's in the effort, the moments, and the learning along the way. What I love most about creativity is that there are no rules. It's your space, your time, your expression. You can make whatever feels right for you, with no pressure to fit into someone else's idea of what's good or what's right. If you're here to create, whether it's art or something else entirely, give yourself permission to just do it without judgment. Don't worry about the end result, just enjoy the process. I promise you it will be so much more fun and enjoyable without having expectations. You don't have to create something extraordinary, just create. Let your hands move, let your thoughts wander, and let the magic happen in the moments of freedom. That's where the most beautiful things come from. Take a moment to reflect on where you are today, right now. The start of the new year can feel like a lot of pressure to make big changes, but I want to encourage you to simply be. It's okay to rest. It's okay to pause. It's okay to not have everything figured out. You're allowed to be exactly where you are right now, and wherever you are enough. So if you're wondering where to begin, start by just acknowledging how far you've come. Take a deep breath with me and appreciate the small victories, the quiet moments, the things that may feel insignificant but are truly the foundation of everything else. Let's take a moment to affirm something important. I am enough, just as I am. I don't need to rush or force anything. I am allowed to move at my own pace. Say this with me or let it simply sink in. You are enough. You are worthy of kindness, of rest, and of growth on your own time, at your own pace. There is no rush. You don't have to meet anyone else's expectations. You only need to meet your own. If there's one thing I've learned, it's that progress isn't always visible right away. But just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not happening. Every small step you take, every effort you make, it adds up. So even if today you don't feel like you've done enough, know that you're making progress little by little, day by day. Life and creativity are journeys, not destinations, and that's okay if today doesn't look like tomorrow. What happens is that you're moving forward, even if it's just one small step. Some days, you'll feel like this goldfish. No thoughts, head empty. And that's okay. Just do you. Move at your own pace and try your best, whatever that may be for the day. Here's a rapid fire of a few tips I found helpful for making that first page and the ones after a bit easier. 1. Start small and start simple. You don't need to create a masterpiece on your first page. In fact, sometimes the best way to start is with something small and simple. A little doodle, a splash of color, or even just writing your name and date. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be yours. 2. Create a theme or intention. If you're unsure of what to draw, think about a theme or intention for your sketchbook. Maybe it's a space for experimenting, documenting your daily life, or just having fun. For this one, my intention is playfulness and embracing imperfection. Setting that tone can really help guide you in what you create next. Personally, I've had sketchbooks that were dedicated to only animals, or portraiture, or figures. I found that focusing on one subject at a time really helped me progress. 3. Again, let go of perfectionism. It's easy to feel like the first page needs to be perfect, but with all that pressure, it can make it really hard to even start. Remind yourself that your sketchbook is a safe place to explore, to make mistakes, and to grow. You don't even need to show it to anyone unless you want to. 4. Use what you love. Pick colors, subjects, or tools that you already enjoy. For me, this is why I chose a goldfish. It's simple, it's playful, it lets me use my orange and blue palette. Starting with what feels familiar and exciting can really help ease you into that first page anxiety. 5. Start in the middle. Here's a little trick. If the first page feels too intimidating, skip it. Start somewhere else in the middle or even in the back of your sketchbook. Once you've filled a few pages, come back to that first one and it might feel a little bit less stressful. And number 6, be kind to yourself. Be patient and kind because starting something new can bring up a lot of self-doubt. It's also an opportunity to grow. Remind yourself that your sketchbook is a reflection of your journey, not just the end result. One of my favorite things about a new sketchbook is the discovery phase. I might start with one idea, and then I'll see how the colors mix or how different materials interact, and it just opens up all these doors for new possibilities. I think that's the beauty of creating. You don't always know where it's going to take you, but that's part of the adventure, and it's exciting to just let your creativity unfold. If you're feeling stuck or unsure of where to start, just try something completely new. It could be a new medium, a new style, or even a random sketch with no plan. The important thing is that you give yourself permission to experiment. Sometimes the best ideas come from simply trying something without worrying about the outcome. You might even surprise yourself. As we step into this new year, I want you to remember this. You don't have to do everything perfectly. You don't have to have it all figured out. What matters is that you're here, showing up for yourself, and doing what feels right for you in your own time. So take a breath, take a step, and create in whatever way feels best for you. Be patient with yourself, embrace the process, and know that you are more than enough, just as you are. And here's my finished painting. Okay, thank you. Bye!